Otherworld Legends is a roguelike beat-em-up style game made by Chili Room, makers of Soul Knight. I will mainly be referring to the mobile Google Play version because the Steam version is basically just the same game, except I don't have access to my progress because apparently it doesn't have cross save between Google and Steam. So that's fun. In the game, you play as different heroes or legends from different eras and worlds. Oh, so that's where the name came from. The heroes are basically kidnapped by Asura in order to fight against Sakura because God knows why. And apparently, the story is also partially based on Buddhism with the six realms of Samsara, as well as other historical mythical figures with some of the bosses. An example of this is Tengu. He is literally the Japanese supernatural creature Tengu, which is insanely cool in my opinion. You go through the Mirage by fighting various types of enemies and bosses in dozens of scenes and ultimately fighting the final boss, where you face either Asura or one of the six other final bosses based on the anguish level you currently have selected. Each scene is completely different from each other, so no two scenes share the same enemies, which keeps the gameplay remarkably unique and fresh. You get assisted by items throughout your runs. In a typical roguelike fashion, there are plenty of items with countless amounts of combination, each belonging to a certain type of group. Now, that last piece of information used to actually be really important, but apparently the synergy mechanic was replaced in favor to the new upgrade mechanic at some point, which is a little unfortunate in my opinion, since the old synergy mechanic was a lot more complex and rewarding to figure out than, oh, I have an item that can be upgraded by using another useless item I already have laying around in my backpack. Better do it fast. But then again, it's a surprisingly good change since some of the synergy items back then are almost impossible to make active while also getting other good items in your current build. The closest I saw this concept being reused is on the Battlefield mode's accumulation mechanic, but the game suffers from this change by being a little too easy in earlier difficulties generally, as well as being too easy to create overpowered setups of items and utterly shredding the final boss, even from a decently high difficulty. The game features a couple dozen characters, each with their own unique skills and specialty. Most characters are close combat fighters, some are better at fighting off from a distance, and some are freaks. That's where they're segregated from the normal cast. Now, the method of unlocking these characters are surprisingly simple. You basically just do daily tasks the game gives you, and you either get commission fragments or universal hero fragments, both of which can be used in junction to unlock a specific hero or skin, which I believe is in a cycle, or you can just straight up buy any characters. Which brings me to my next point. The way this game earns its money, or its monetization method, is one of the best I have ever seen for a mobile game. First off, it has actual incentivized ads instead of unsolicited full screen ads that just jump scare you because you died. And none of the purchases are actually required in order to enjoy the game to its fullest. But I'm looking at you, Supreme Mirage Pass, you walking good deal. Proper game monetization practices that prioritizes user enjoyment over anything else aside. This game is absolutely crazy when it comes to reworks. I actually believe most of the characters had one or more rework at some point, as well as the entire item system, from only being able to activate 4 items to 5 items to 10, and to an entirely new mode that makes all the items in your backpack active, which is actually one of my favorite modes. Overall, I think most of the changes, mentioned or not, to generally be good changes that make the game a lot more enjoyable than it is in previous iterations. So the next time you decide to take another 10-month hiatus from the game, you come back knowing completely nothing all over again. Cool. This is by far one of the best currently being developed mobile game that I have ever played. Even with all the things that I mentioned in this video, there's still so much more mechanics and little features that I didn't even bother to add, like the alcoholics feature. Genuinely one of the most underrated mobile game out there in the cesspool called the Play Store. I 100% recommend everyone to have a shot at it, and I rate it 9 out of 10. That's it, goodbye.